All right, we are live back here with our weekly Epiphyte meetup, where our growing and committed team gets together every Wednesday to plan, talk through, and soon execute on the build of our next miniature open source direct air capture device called Epiphyte. Hey guys, how you doing? Right now I'm with two key members of the team at UT. We got Thomas too. I'll add him. We got Seth. How you guys doing? Hey Seth, what's going on, brother? Hopefully my internet isn't really crappy. I'm in a convention.
Hey, Chris.
Good to see you.
How's it going?
Do let me. I'm doing well. I'm in Houston today. I was just telling these guys I'm supposed to be on a panel for a sustainable aviation fuel conference, and I came on the wrong day. So what are you going to do? A little bit of a climate week hangover for me. Great. So Ling is going to join in just a couple minutes, but we'll go ahead and get started. And just sort of top of the agenda, I just wanted to touch base with the UT team and see how the Thursday session went. Any updates from that?
Thursday meeting went really well. Got us similar numbers as before. We divided everybody into teams, got people talking to each other, bits and stuff like that. We also, as just to get them keep involved in the design process, took a vote on the fans, our debate we were having last time, about what they think better option was. It was a very cursory vote. It wasn't like we didn't have like a ton. We just gave like a little bit of background on it, and and this is not, you're not obligated to follow this, but just like for if you're concerned with what, and I think a lot of them might have voted arbitrarily, but of those votes, it was 6 above on 2 fans over 1 fan.
I think it's actually, we kind of ran out of time yesterday, but I think that 2 fans are unavoidable. The 2 different fans do 2 very different things. And it's the whole, we have the fan on the outside of the damper. So we need one that can go inside the closed chamber and is, good for heat, but doesn't have to be super high power. So I get Ling's point on simplicity, which we always want to have as a kind of design principle here. But I think it's kind of unavoidable that we do 2 fans. So, but I'm glad to hear that. I did put something real quick on that. We'll look at it in a second, but I put a couple of other pieces of equipment that I discovered that actually, again, go with chimneys. Something called a draft inducer, which is meant to do exactly what we want this thing to do within the context of the same equipment. So we can talk about that in just a couple minutes, but I think that would be a good, affordable option possibly. So any other things come up in the meeting? And then the other question I had is how, any plans to go to the, if anybody has any Sunday plans, it would be interesting to maybe connect, unless this week isn't good, because I can bring over some of the stuff that I got from UPenn, and we can just kind of take a look at the space. But do let me know if you guys plan to meet up there.
I think, well, first off, for the meeting, I don't think
Chaz or Thomas, I guess, or Will.
Oh, can you hear me? Hello, Chris, can you hear me? Can anybody else hear me?
I can hear you, Tom.
Okay.
Yep, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. For the rest of the meeting, we'll talk a bit more about the chemical. And yeah, I mean that was the main point. They split off in the groups and they started moving in different directions, considering the bill of materials and some other stuff they wanted to do in their each individual groups, like the sub teams we discussed. And then in terms of meeting on Sunday, we should be able to have a Sunday study this weekend if you want to drop by during those hours. Currently, the plan is we usually do like 9
on
to
Sunday.
11. Yes, we usually do like 9 to noon-ish. That can shift around, but that's generally those hours.
Usually do 10 to 1 or 9 to noon.
Either of those. But yeah, so that sounds good to me.
Okay, cool. Yeah. If I have to just double check and see when my son's soccer game is, I think it's later in the day, but I should be able to make part of that. And I can bring the sensor with the paperwork on that, as well as I figured, Will, I would just give you we have that zeolite sorbent and the Luitit, just so we can just add that to our library of options. But yeah, count me in as long as I don't have to be at a soccer game.
Okay.
Should be great. All right, cool. So some other items just to go into, as I mentioned, I can't remember if it was before we started the stream or right after, that the money for the grant, which took a while to get, is going to hit my account on Friday. So that's good enough for me to order any parts we want to immediately. So I thought we could first just sort of look at the bomb a little bit and see which parts I think we're ready to go ahead and place an order for. I think that there are a few. So I'll go ahead and quickly share my my screen. All right, 1 second. Let me know when you guys can see. Oops. Can you guys see anything? Oh, here we go. Got it. It should be working. It looks like it's frozen. Not yet, eh? All right, let's try this. Oh no. I have a little bit of a wonky internet situation here. There we go. Okay. Going here. All right. Can you guys see that now?
It's still loading on our
I'm
end.
still loading as well.
You guys able to see the screen?
It's still loading.
It's still loading.
Okay, 1 second. Sorry, I have a bad internet. Should be there in 1 sec. All right. Why don't I do this? If anybody minds, because my screen sharing ability might be slowed down a bit. I'm gonna pop into the private chat the link I was trying to open. If somebody else wants to open that one up, that would be great.
I
Let
cannot.
me know if you guys got that.
I'm currently on my phone, so I can't do that.
I think I can do it, Chris.
Anything? Okay, gotcha. Yeah, go ahead. That'd be great.
I think I'm sharing the website now, the tab.
And then the present button is. Okay, cool. All right, there we go. Add to stage. All right. Should show up now. Come on, still loading. Can you guys see that?
Yes, we can see it. The bomb is the bill of materials.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. Exactly. So for here, I think we could go ahead and order the chimney parts that are down underneath the tube chamber. Actually, maybe Will, if you go to the tab that says chimney components, it's the 5th tab on that spreadsheet.
Do you see it, Chris?
Let me know when you're there. My internet's really slow, so I can't see it.
Yeah, I think there might be a delay between us. I think I'm on it now.
Okay. Okay. All right. I can't see it yet, but I think it's because unfortunately my internet seems to be not great, even though it looks like it's full bars. But if you guys can see it, Tom and Chaz, can you guys see the screen?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can see it. We can see it.
Okay, great. So I would say if you go down to where it says tube chamber there, I think we can go ahead and order the stainless steel chimney pipe parts right now, along with the dampers, and then the little stand that the chimney pipe goes on. And I think we can order the main fan that we used last time, which might not even be listed here right now. But I don't think we have any reason to stop, not do that. The other thing, as I was telling you guys before we started the stream, is I did find a supplier of cordierite monoliths that fit our dimensions. and they're cheap. They're $20 each. They don't have alumina, Will. So if we can go with cordierite, I know that's the one that some of the other DAC companies use. That would be great, but I don't see anything stopping us from going ahead and placing that order right now. There's about a 4 to 5 day turnaround time for most of those parts. So that would mean by next week we would have those parts in hand by the time we have next week's call.
Hey
Sound
Chris, is
good?
that the same? Yeah, is that the same company that you showed us? It was between you, me, and Ling, I think yesterday, or is this a different company? Because I did talk. It's like Stanford something Advanced Materials.
Yes,
I
that's
did-
right. Yep.
Okay, is it the same guys? 'Cause-
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Because I ended up looking into
Yeah,
that.
a guy named Enoch I talked to.
Okay. I looked into their company and into the Stanford Advanced Materials, and I did find one monolith material that's like it's called corundum mullite ceramic honeycomb. I think that was the same link you sent, right?
Yep.
So when I looked at the specifications for that, it
I
says
sent
that,
the link to the general page.
oh, okay. Okay, gotcha. Because I found this one that was specific. It's called corundum mullite ceramic honeycomb, and part of it, the composition, the chemical makeup of it, it's about 70% alumina. So I thought that was actually a really good choice. But it's not a specific cordierite one.
Ah.
Yeah, I can show you guys the website. that
If
I
you
found.
can. Yeah, go for it.
So tell me if
Turn
this
my
looks
camera off
familiar.
just 'cause my connection's not great.
Does this look like the website that you were looking at, Chris?
All right, let me know when you can see it.
Okay, I think it's up now. I'm not sure. It might be delayed
Yeah,
still.
it's going to take a second for me to be able to see it, but it is the Stanford. What's the name of the company?
Advanced Materials.
Yeah, it's loading for me.
Okay, but I guess like for people
Yeah,
who
let me
can't
grab
see it, it says it's made out of alumina and silica. So I thought this was a good choice. It's the same thing as like alumina basically, where it can be heated up all the way to 1500 C, so that's good. And then there it says that it's about like 65 to 70%, 73% alumina. So I thought this was a good option. And then like it looks like the rest is just silica, and then there's a little bit of other stuff in there, a little
Okay.
bit of iron oxide. But this is what I asked for the inquiry. So I went to get a quote and I just sent them an email, and I'm waiting for a response now. So I don't really know how much it'll be, or it didn't ask for any like specifications for like dimensions or anything. Like I just looked through, it doesn't. There was no option for that, so I'm assuming that's maybe when you actually start talking to them and getting a quote, like what dimensions they want, like for the diameter and the height, all that stuff, the CPSI, that kind of thing. But yeah, it looks like a good option.
Yeah, Will, I actually called them yesterday and spoke to one of their sales reps, a guy named Enoch, and I was talking about cordierite because I didn't know corundum was part alumina, but he was saying they're about $20 each, at least for the cordierite one.
Okay.
And so because they're cheap enough, I'll loop you, I'll tag you in on that thread I have with them, and if we wanted, we could get a few of each, one of each for testing, and then, or maybe we could order them quick enough, and we can just get one of the cordierite, one of the alumina, and do some testing on those, and then whichever one we like better, we could just order, order for the ones that we're actually going to use. They're here in North America, so it'll be quite quick.
Okay, yeah, that works. I think that sounds good.
Sound good?
Yep.
Okay, great. And so I'll add you on that email. And sorry again for the delay, guys. I'm clearly my internet's not great. But hey, Ling, how are you?
I'm good. So I guess if you
Ling, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So
why don't we cut me out of this a little bit then? We're waiting for Ling to load there. I did want to go over if I could share this link here with you guys. in the private chat is one of the products for the draft inducers that I thought might be a good fit because it's meant to work with this exact same kind of pipe. Will, if you could open up that link that I just put in the private chat and share it, we can talk about it.
Okay.
Hey, Link, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear fine. Can you hear me? Seems like people can't hear me. I just turned off my camera in case it's causing
Oh,
problems.
we can hear you, Link. Chris's Wi-Fi is very slow right now, so he's like his responses to us are delayed and vice versa. So
Okay.
That's what's happening.
So just can I make a comment on the ceramic monoliths? So after
So because of that, I'm going to shut up actually and let Will show that. And then Will, if you had any other kind of updates on chemistry stuff, that would be great. But I thought we could also link. Oh, sorry. Can you guys hear?
Yeah, we can
we
hear you.
can hear you. Yeah,
All
seems like you can't hear me. Us.
Okay. So go ahead, Will, and share that, and you guys can talk through it.
Can you guys see what I'm sharing? I think I'm sharing it, but I don't know if it's showing up for you guys.
No.
No? Okay. I think Chris has to allow. Okay, maybe. Do you guys see it now? It's like a Home Depot website.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not actually too sure what this is. Chris was saying it's a draft inducer. So it looks like a little tiny motor of some kind to be able to allow flow. I think this would be for the fan. Oh, okay. So we would have a small fan at the bottom and then the draft inducer attached to the stem above the fan. And then, okay. So this is kind of just to help out the fan, I'm guessing, to be able to push airflow up through the monolith. Can be bolted right to the side. Okay. Okay. So this basically just looks like another mini fan in some form, right? This is the second fan alternative. Oh, okay. So instead of having a fan at the very bottom, we have this instead. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha. Okay, this is relatively 154. Okay. With speed control. Yeah. So I guess another thing too, Ling, that we did with the last week's Wednesday or Thursday meeting for the UT team is that we did a poll throughout the group, and I think a lot of people maybe didn't really fully understand what the question was, but it was like either decide on 2 fans or 1 fan for the design of the Epiphyte, and we just tallied up the votes, and I think Tommy said it was like 6. The unanimous decision was 2 fan system, and it won by like 6 extra votes.
Yeah, 6 votes.
What was the totals though on it? There was like a lot of people who voted though, right?
Yeah, it was like, I don't have the thing pulled out right now, but I think it was like 30 votes.
Yeah. So
30 votes. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
we're retaining them somehow. They keep coming back.
Nice.
Yeah. So they won 2 fans, and I think it's cool. It's a cool idea. So yeah, I guess this would be better, right, than having a secondary fan. Just have this draft.
Yeah, this is worth looking into. Yeah, I thought about like how to use 1 fan, and there's no way we can use 1 fan unless we use an oven fan. If we use an oven fan, I don't know how to make that work because the motor, like, it can't be as powerful because oven fans are just made to move the air around a little bit, and we need a stronger fan to push air through the monolith. But it probably doesn't need to be that strong, but it does need to be big. It needs to cover the cross-section area. So if there's like the self-stirring thing that can move air around in a higher temperature environment, then that would be better. What's the temperature rating on this thing?
Yeah, I'm trying to look for that if there is one. I'm assuming since it's for a chimney, it should be able to handle some type of heat. I don't see anything yet. I guess it has a flow of, so this is cubic feet per minute, I think. CFM 110. I think that's pretty high. I double check.
Mhm.
It's meant for high heat. Okay, so Chris is confirming. I don't know if I see where it says anymore, but I'm assuming since for chimney like exhaust like hot gas going through it, it should
Yeah,
be.
sometimes when they say high heat, they might mean just 90 degrees. Hold on, I'm looking at the brochure. I'm not sure if it's that either. Yeah, it doesn't really say.
No smoky bathtub. Definitely the leak thing, yeah. Because Chris, you said this bolts on, so I'm reading the chat. If it gets bolted on, that should be fine. But we gotta double check to make sure it doesn't have any leaks. I think what I was looking up here, where it kind of shows how it bolts on, that doesn't look whatever this little picture is right here. That doesn't really look necessarily like airtight or anything. So we probably have to make sure to get that very securely bolted down.
Yeah, it's not meant to be airtight.
Yeah.
Its application.
And we also should double check to see if this thing, if it has to, no, it probably doesn't have to pull air from outside to move airflow on the inside, right? So this is completely sealed, is what I'm trying to get at.
It seems like it. Yeah, it seems like it's just a fan that moves air upwards.
Mhm.
It's so blurry.
I think this is a good option. Yeah, I think, and it's relatively cheap. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else have any other thoughts on the draft inducer? I think this is a good option. I think we should just have to confirm that it can withstand like 100 C or above of like smoke or heat or whatever it's rated for.
I mean, if we were talking about high heat, okay, never mind. Sorry, I thought we were talking about chimney burn. So no, never mind.
Yeah, because I'm thinking we're going to heat the monolith up to 100 C, right? I guess we haven't really discussed what the max temperature should be, right? We're just talking about like something that's higher than like ambient temperature, right? But I think it's probably going to have to be heated up to 100 C at the minimum. That's kind of a lot, but I think that's probably what we have to get it up to. The heater.
Well, did you say something about 120 C?
100 C.
Okay, I remember. I thought you said 120 C before, like in the previous session.
Yeah, for the one that I'm testing, I'm only heating it up to 110 C. I think that if I do it any higher, it might start to decompose stuff. So I'm trying to go with the lower side of things. So on the little test I'm running, I'm only heating up to 110 C.
Yeah, apparently heating it up to more than 90 C is hard for fans.
Okay.
But it's possible that with this it might be okay. I don't know. So the brochure does have a phone number on it. So we could call them. I don't know if you guys see the brochure. I'll put it in the chat.
Okay. Hey, Ling, do you want to do the thing that Chris is saying in the chat with the GitHub?
Yeah. Yeah, we can go through that. So I put the brochure under comments. I don't know.
Oh, I saw it.
Like public comments or whatever. But it's linked from the product page. It's just. Oh, Christina's here. Good timing. Yeah.
How's it going?
Yeah, so take a look at the brochure. One of us can call them afterwards to ask about if they have a heat rating on this thing.
Okay.
Okay. So Christina, you're in just in time because we're about to do the GitHub thing, and I could do it or you could do it. My camera is off because I thought it would help Chris, but Chris just can't hear me.
I can hear you now. Can you guys hear me? Is it better?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Fine. Yeah,
All right.
you've always been fine.
Okay. Yeah, Christina, we were just the last couple weeks been talking about. Now we have a full team. We're about to order a lot of the parts. We're going to start building soon. So we wanted to just create a nice GitHub project Kanban to be able to organize the different work streams and the tasks. So I know, Ling, you got it going originally, and Christina's our GitHub master. So-
Christine and I met last week, and then we well, there wasn't much to do. We just talked a lot.
Ling and I have talked a little. What we should do is we should go into the existing Epiphyte repository and we should create a new branch for this project. What am I calling that branch?
Oh, I wrote a name for this. It should be maybe Thomas and Charles, you guys can confirm the name.
Yeah, I think we said UT DAC team 2024 or something like that.
I wrote it in our chat.
Mhm.
Okay. Let's see.
Yeah, it's UT Austin's
UT
2024.
Net Project DAC.
Or I don't know. What did I say before?
UT Net Project DAC. Here, I'll
Sounds
put it
great.
in the chat.
Sounds perfect. Sounds perfect.
Okay, UT.
Do you see my message in private chat?
Let me have a look. Gotcha.
So that branch will be like the master branch, and then you can create other branches off of that for different sub projects, and then just merge into that one. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Christina or I can guide you through this later.
Yeah. So let me make sure I've got everybody's GitHub account on here.
I think Thomas needs to accept. Thomas, I don't know if you accept the invitation.
I'm sorry. It's been a really busy week. I will do so now. Let me
Yeah.
pull up.
Sure, so I can log in.
So I made Charles an admin of the project. You guys can't add people to the Epiphyte, the open air organization yet, but we could make that a possibility if it's a hassle for we'd be like, please add this person. But you guys will be made admins of the project, so you can modify the project, add people to the project.
We did collect Epiphyte usernames through Google Doc
Okay,
for
great.
our org. I think
Yeah, so
Chaz,
we
do you have
can
access to that?
People.
I think Chaz has access to that.
Yeah, I
correct?
got it.
All right, so cool. So he'll either send that to you or we'll get that to you sometime today, so you can start adding those people. So you don't need to go through us at all. We'll just send you that link. It has like their name and their GitHub username and the email associated with it, I believe. So, yeah.
Okay. Wait. This is.
Okay, how many of you are there?
Wait, this is a repo. Okay. I think there was like 30 of them.
Yes.
So,
So
under this. Oh, there's 30.
recently we've gotten numbers around 30, a little over.
Okay, so what I should do is I should make it possible for one of you guys to handle who's on here then.
That would be easier, but I don't know
Yeah,
how
because
that system works.
because I'm assuming that there's like, well, you actually know who everybody is, and I don't.
That's
So
fair.
collaborators and teams. I've never used organization access, but maybe that's the way to do it, is to create a team.
I don't know enough about, I know next to nothing about GitHub, to be honest.
So
Christina, maybe put the year
yeah.
in it. Yeah, that's good.
All right. So then UT Austin student team working on the.
You can call it what's it called again? Net Project DAC team. UT Austin Net Project DAC team. I don't know if net
NET. What's the
net
like that? Net is in net zero.
Yeah, negative emissions technologies. Yeah.
It's the name of the
so
club that
acronym
we're.
too. So do we want that?
Yeah, and then DAC at the end. I guess I'll
Okay.
Project DAC.
That's it.
Net
That works.
Project
That
DAC.
works.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll set it up and one of you can edit it. So far, there's me. Okay, so
Okay.
I'm going to add Ling. Let's see. Remind me your GitHub, Ling. Is it?
Charles? Oh, mine is just
Oh yeah, Lang.
Ling. I'm there.
We'll know her by the duck. All right, invite. And then
And then you can add Charles. Charles is in the organization.
Charles, what's the username?
Charles. Start time Charles Depot something.
Charles.
The first one.
The first one?
Yeah, it's that top one.
Invited. All right.
Okay.
Cool.
Maybe Chris also.
Yeah. Yep. Nidal. It's actually any no C, just Nidal. There
Just
you go.
Nidal?
Yep, there you go up top there.
Are you sure? Because that sure looks like you.
That's me, Nidal C. Yeah.
Okay.
Chris,
Cool.
can you see the project?
I can
Like
now.
that?
Yep.
Oh, not this one. This is the team, but the
Yeah, I can see the one you set up before.
Cool.
Okay, so now if I go to Open Air Epiphyte, we've got branches. And here's this branch, which is the UTNet project DAC. So I think you guys have probably looked at what's in here and you're familiar with the layout of everything, yes? It should be fairly self-explanatory. If you see any issues, please add them as issues. But as you can see, here's UT students sign up for GitHub is an issue. So in fact, I can comment on that. Maybe I can tag the team and we can test things that way.
Mm-hmm.
Then again, maybe I can't.
Maybe it's yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, awesome.
So now we need to make sure that that team is added to this branch. Find people or team. Add teams. Okay. I think we're gonna do maintain for this for the team privileges. All right, so now you can add people to that team, and they should be able to add stuff. So one of the things that I should probably do here is add in a workflow file so that when you push, when you put an issue or something in, there should be a template. So that'll be something that I should be able to add in main and then push to the UT branch.
Hey, Christina, can I ask a favor real quick? Could you?
What do you got?
We went over this before with a much smaller group. A lot of the UT team are CS people and they know GitHub. I didn't know if you could take like 2 minutes just to sort of define what we're looking at here a little bit. And some of it's self-explanatory about like issues and stuff like that, just very quickly. This is recorded.
It will take longer than 2 minutes to go over version control, but I can give you like the briefest of possible surveys of what we have in the Open Air
That'd be great.
GitHub.
Also,
So briefly, we have all of the stuff here. There's make sure to star the repositories because it makes this graph happy. You can see other DAC projects under the auspices of Open Air. So let me pull up one that's at a slightly higher level of kind of, whoops, wrong one. Let's see, GitHub Synthwave. This is Alex's Synthwave project, which is another Open Air thing. So this is another really good example if you're looking at how to document stuff. We're working on putting this one together for a grant and a paper now. I'm going to create a repository that people can then use as a basic template for this stuff in the future that will have better overall documentation practices. But the important parts here are there's a README, there's a license file. These things are integrated into Zenodo, which is a FAIR repository. So you can like click here and everything will automatically update on Zenodo. Epiphyte has this too. So when we hit a save point, you can basically publish a revision of the work. And then that is like in a server at CERN forever. So that's a very useful thing to have. Let me go back to the Epiphyte branch. Yeah, main. So this is your branch. So any changes that you make here can then be incorporated into the main branch. If people are CS majors, they will probably be familiar with how pull requests work. Like I said, at some point I'll give a more in-depth thing. We have all of these various tags. There is a license that's been selected for the project. And then here's the Zenodo DOI that will point to the most recent version on Zenodo. So if you have any data or documents or anything that like you want to be able to reference again and again, you can either put them on GitHub, or if they're larger, like say demo videos, Zenodo is a really good place for those. Everything here is sorted into hardware files, license information, presentations, and software. Hardware and software are the big ones. I'm going to take a look at hardware because that's where some of this stuff is a little bit hidden. So there's this initial README that has like a very basic overview, but this file, which is the hardware files, hardware description README, gives you a lot more granular information. Probably you already have this, but just in case you didn't, now you know. This is all the stuff for how to hook up the different circuits that David prepared and I put into Markdown. So any documentation that you guys prepare, I definitely recommend putting into Markdown and including in your repository in this way. Any questions so far?
Okay.
Nope, we're
I
good.
just want to remind people that you can upload whatever files in here. Most likely you'll have to wipe the branch and replace it with your own files, but like we can lead you through that. But just do not upload any files that are over 100 megabytes. It will like mess up the project. I've done it before.
Yeah, GitHub will get sad. And when you push things, make sure that you are pushing them to this branch, not the main branch. You can also pull branches off of this. So one thing you could do that would be a very logical thing is like, if you were to, I don't have any good examples of this right now, really, but if you had one of these things that you wanted to address, and it doesn't have to be these like big issues. GitHub is now finally adding in like nested issues. That's a thing that's in beta right now. So I think that'll be really good for this type of project. But for now, the issues just are all flat, one level. So you can have an issue and then you can like create a sub branch for that, fix the issue in that sub branch. Then when you're ready, you can take that and do a pull request into the UT Austin branch. And that's just a good way to have everything be sort of organized so that things are like not so the UT Austin branch is always at a completed state of UT Austinness. There's not like half done stuff in there. There might be half done stuff in other smaller branches that you put together. And then when that individual part of the project is resolved, you push it upwards. And then if you get to the point where your entire project is done, then that could be pushed into main and that could become the next overall revision. So stuff like that.
Let me get to show Google Git schematic. I don't know. It might be too much to get into at this point.
Yeah, I think what we're probably going to want to do at some point is give like a proper workshop overview.
Yeah.
And then just in the meantime, Ling and I are on the Discord. Feel free to ping me on Discord anytime. I'm usually reasonably responsive for any specific questions about the Git, or feel free to like punch in an issue and it should alert me if you do that. And you can tag me on GitHub. I'm Kay Collins.
Please put in your issues and then put the UT Austin tag on it. And then you can add extra tags too. You can add hardware or chemistry, whatever. It's all changeable later. So don't be afraid to mess up. I know the CS students might know how to use GitHub, but they don't know how to use our GitHub. So we have to lead them through how we organize our GitHub so they don't just come in and do a lot of stuff. I know they know how to use GitHub most likely, but it's possible for software people to still mess up a project. I've seen it.
Yeah, just a couple of things that when we go into this in more depth that will be useful that you just probably saw were already referenced for like, issues is just where you put in, issues that we're having. There's a discussion panel. The wiki is probably pretty cool too, Christina, I guess, as we advance. That might be useful at some point. And then the projects is the one that I think will be of immediate use to us, just for us to be able to track according to the different work streams, what we need to do and make sure that we're on top of things.
That's true. We do have a wiki there. The my goal for this, once we've gotten it to the point where things are validated, is I'd like to see all of the open air projects go into a journal like HardwareX, where everything gets documented on the GitHub, and then you take that and you pretty much just put that into a template to turn it into a journal paper. And then that makes it something that people can reference, and it brings it into the peer review literature. So like science people will actually notice that this is a thing you're doing, because that's the price of admission for the science world.
And that's an extra perk for you guys is that we can turn this into a journal article.
It ups everybody's H index. It's a nice resume builder. It's a very useful thing to have, and it's a good set of skills. And if you're interested in pursuing, graduate education in this stuff, then it's a necessity. But the other thing that it does is it just sort of makes sure that a whole set of boxes are getting checked, and that everybody who's checking those boxes is getting proper credit for doing so. So that's kind of the goal for this and the other various open air projects as well. And then that also supports like grant rating, get the flywheel going. So everything comes back to having a really well-documented GitHub. And any engineering notes, anything that you guys have, because I know you've got stuff already, please go ahead and put that in there. And if you file a pull request, there's also like ways for us to review things. So I think maybe a good next step, you guys presumably already have some documentation of some changes you've made or some changes you'd like to make to one of these files. Ping me on Discord if you don't know how to open a branch. If you do know how to open a branch, make those changes, and then we can talk through submitting a pull request with me and Ling in some future meeting and walk through approving each of those changes and pushing them to the UT Austin branch.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
All right.
And in terms of...
No, go ahead. I was going to say, I tried to define what a pull request is in the private thing. I don't know if that passes muster with you, Christina, in the private chat. So, yeah, that was all I wanted to say.
What was the other question?
No, I wasn't. It was so much a question, but what we've been using in our past has been a box. We have a dedicated box system as part of being like UT org.
Yep.
It's not really relevant to this project. But generally they like us to catalog our stuff there. So we might do it in two places, if that's okay with you, like over on yours and this one.
As long as they're both complete.
Cool. Awesome.
I definitely recommend making the GitHub be the source of truth, because the whole point of it is to do open hardware and people can access GitHub. They can't access Box. GitHub also being a version control system naturally tracks people's contributions. So although it has a little bit of a learning curve, one really nice thing about it is that then all of the metadata of how this thing got built gets integrated in when we use GitHub as our form. And that can be really useful later when we're looking at it from a community science project perspective.
Absolutely. Okay. Christina, do you even if we'll generate it as we go forward, like starting now, but I didn't know if we could just share the project page and just at least show people what that looks like as a Kanban. That would be really awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to hand that one over to Ling because I got to get going to prepare for another meeting. But
like a superhero.
Great, and I'm so stoked to hear that you guys have so many people on this. I had no idea. I thought this was like a 3-person team. So that's really exciting. And yeah, I love seeing students get engaged.
Before you jump, Christina, I want you guys to know Christina absolutely rocks, and you just swept in here like Superwoman because we needed that kind of description. So excited to see your face and looking forward to have you involved as you have been. So thanks, Christina. Appreciate it.
I appreciate it, but you all know Ling quite as cool as I am. Yeah. All right. Bye, friends.
Right. See ya. Cool. So, Ling, do we want to show that project page real quick just to give people a sense of what it can do? Nope, I can't hear you again.
I think you're muted, Ling.
Trying to share right now.
Oh, there you go. I got it. I got it. Added to the stage.
Oh, okay, there. Okay. So, here's the. So if you are in the organization, it's called the Open Air Collective, and then if you go to repositories, you can go to Open Air Epiphyte. Then under projects, here's a project tab here. We've made one project and then started adding people to it. So it's called UT Austin's 2024 to 2025 build. You can also access this project from the organization under projects. There's 3 projects. Okay, I can't see one of them, but you may not be able to see this Kanban one either. It's just a template, but it's the same project that leads there. So once you click on it, there's this one issue that I added. You can add any issue from any repository. It doesn't have to be all one repository. So you can start searching, and then there's a lot of suggestions already. They're not all from the same repository. So please go to let me go back to Epiphyte. If you want to add items to the Kanban, you will need to add issues to Open Air Epiphyte. Any questions so far?
Just if you could,
record it.
real quick, if you could repeat that link. So in order for something to be added as a task to the Kanban, it has to be an issue. Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
Okay.
You may be able to add it on the fly. Yeah, you can create a new issue on the fly, but you'll have to make sure it's in the Open Air Epiphyte one. But yeah, you can still add one on the fly. So if you do decide to change the labels and stuff, you may have to go back to the list of issues to change them. Once you have it as an issue, you can also create comments here. So Christina did that. You can have a discussion here. You can post pictures. You can, post supporting material, whatever. On the board, it will automatically show up. I don't know where it usually show up. I think it shows up as uncategorized. So you can put it in backlog or you can put it into do. And in software, we tend to use a sprint system, but you don't have to do that. Or you can do it week to week. You can have things go into to do immediately, and if you feel like you can't accomplish it in the next 1 to 2 weeks, or you shouldn't even get started, then it should go in backlog, and then you will move it through the panels. And once it's done, it's like at a good state. So I think for this item, we need that Excel sheet from you guys of students' usernames. And it can be a live document. It can be like a rolling, as I know people may join at any time. And so we can just keep adding them as they're being added. So I think right now it requires someone other than you guys to add people onto this team. It might.
So I think when they give us that list, Ling, the admins can just add them, correct?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
So it would be best if the list is an Excel sheet. Sorry, a Google sheet. That way it's live, and then as people add more people, as more people sign up, you don't have to be like, here's a new sheet, here's a new sheet. We can just go to that sheet and add people.
Okay. Lee, can I ask you a question too? With the tagging, with the work streams that we have, like sequestration, hardware, software, it'd be best to make those tags, right? And then you add those to a to-do? Okay.
Yeah, I did not add them, but I can add them now, or you guys can. It doesn't really matter because you can edit it at any time. So
Okay.
it's sorry, I'm not as I'm a little slow. So if you go over here, you can see the labels and you can edit labels. So you can add a new label, whatever, but you can also edit an existing label. So you can add a hardware whatever. Like you can match it to your team sub team names, or whatever you choose. You guys want to take a first stab at it? I think you should be able to access this.
Who's that? Is Charles or Thomas been added already?
I have not been added yet. I pulled up my GitHub profile. I don't see it here.
You might have to check your email.
Oh, okay.
I know I was added at least.
Or sometimes it might show up in your notifications. Maybe here.
I looked in my notifications and I did
Oh,
not
that's
see
weird. So you have not been added. Can you send me your? Oh, actually, let me try to add you via email.
It's in the chat. It should be. My email is here. It's in this message. I pinged it in our chat.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why you're not showing up. Okay, sorry about that delay. Any questions on any of this? I know the Kanban, it looks maybe too easy to be true or whatever, but it's just a simple tracking mechanism. But I think the important thing, one of the things that we usually do in software is that no task is like too big. So you don't build a carbon capture device as a task, and then it will take a whole quarter for you to, or whole year for you to move that through the columns. I think I'm not sure what they're called. So instead, you want to divide really humongous tasks into manageable chunks.
Yeah, like an example of this would be, I think if we have labels for this that correspond to your subgroups, if you guys don't mind if we call mass transfer hardware, I think would be maybe a bit better. But if we have like chemistry, hardware, software, sequestration, and then if we have one that's general management, which is probably the only one I'll be playing around with, I would put in like order the monolith. You know what I mean? Like that level of task is what you want to have in there. That's the kind of thing.
Yeah, it should be possible to complete the task in 1 to 2 weeks. And if you cannot, then try to divide the task into smaller chunks.
All right, sounds good to me.
Cool. Any other general kind of questions or impressions about this? I'm not a software guy, but once I started to I use it to put legislation in for another reason, but it is pretty awesome, both in terms of its functionality, but it puts it out into the world for an open source community. And then it's linked to all those other things that Christina showed about being able to like convert the content into a journal article. It has version control, so once you get the hang of it, it's pretty ideal for what we're trying to do here. But let me know if you have any questions or thoughts based on what we just fire hosed you with.
Got it. For now, I think I understood most of it. Probably will have lots of questions in the future, but for now, it seems good.
Yeah, feel free to explore this because nothing is on here yet, and we're all somewhat new at this. So feel free to play around and add issues, delete issues, not the existing ones, but make your own. Also, there's a Gantt chart here. So if you don't know what a Gantt chart is, it's just a timeline. I have not played around with adding dates to this, but you could try adding a few items and see how they stack up. Sometimes if you have a Gantt chart, then naturally some tasks may depend on other ones. And so the idea is that if a blocking task gets moved to the future, then everything else gets moved along with it.
Gotcha.
And so Gantt chart allows you to plan around timelines. I'm not sure how much we'll be using this one, but feel free to play around with it. It's useful in project management. So if there are no questions, I think we're done here. Thomas, I have invited you via email. So.
Yes, I added. I joined.
Okay.
Yeah, I do have to go right now because I have a class, but thank you very much.
You guys please send me the Excel sheet.
Yes, we will do that. It might be. So it's currently in a Google form. Do you want us to just send you the results of that, or put that into Excel sheet and then send it to you? You can do either.
Send me the Google link if it's okay.
Sure.
Send me the live doc so that we can keep visiting it.
Yeah, you can generate a Google spreadsheet by pressing a button on a form, and then it's just a Google spreadsheet. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It collects it in a spreadsheet in the back end.
All right. Sounds good.
Cool.
All right, I do have to go though. So
All right.
thank you very much.
Hope to see you guys on Sunday. And Ling,
Yes.
we'll before you jumped on, Ling, we're just looking at
thank
the
you. Bye.
parts. Bye, guys. We were just looking at the parts that we thought we could proceed with ordering. But maybe we could have a little bit more of a conversation about it. I think we're most of the chimney parts. I think we just have to make a decision. But I think we've agreed that those are the parts we want to use for this first build. So I get the money on Friday, so that means I can order now. And then we also, me and Will were talking about it. We both separately were reaching out to that monolith company based in San Diego. And so they responded to me. I spoke to the one guy, and then I have an email thread going with them now, so I can loop you both in there. But that might be a good option. It's like a pretty high quality company. They have a few different things.
Yeah, I think that's fine if we want to go with. So before, when you couldn't hear me, I kept trying to say this, and then you kept trying to talk over me. So after you found that company, I didn't know that sometimes it's called ceramic honeycomb. And when I started searching for that, a lot more things started popping up. So that's something that you may want, we can do as a team. We can assign it to the students too, because they're looking for things to do. And I'm sometimes stretched for bandwidth. I know I'm unemployed, but I have a lot of things to do at home.
It could be very time consuming to be unemployed. I know how that is. But what we can do, Ling, is we can start putting things as they give us the spreadsheet, the Google sheet, and we get people in there. We could start slicing just to show people how you populate a Kanban with some of these things.
Yeah.
And then, through Will and Tom and Chaz, we can start to assign things to people who are interested in looking for things to do. You know what I mean? Like research on, products and stuff like that. But I think we're getting there with the GitHub Live.
Yeah.
All right. Cool, guys. All right, guys. Hopefully I'll see you on Sunday. Will.
Hey, Ling, can I quickly ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
Can you add me onto the GitHub? Or
yeah. What's your username?
Do you want my email or my username? I actually have never used GitHub, so I have no clue how it works. I'll be honest.
If you're signed up, just give me either the email that you use to sign up or the username.
Okay, I can send the email through the private chat.
Yeah. Chris, sorry for keeping you. If you need to leave, you can leave, I guess.
No, I can stay for another minute.
Okay.
Or we could just,
we can
end the stream and stay on here. All right.
Okay.
Cool.
Here's the email.
All right. Do you have his email link?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Cool. All right. So I'm going to end the stream. I'm going to end the stream right now. And then, Ling, if you want to stay on for a second, we can. J3NX, sorry, we're just wrapping up right now. It's recorded, though, so I'll shoot you the recording of this on Discord so you can catch up. All right, ending the stream now. All right, cool.